let's bring it down to the meat and potatoes, right? Our first matchup of the day, Rebel and Elevate. Like you said, you're most excited about this one. The slaying power on both ends is great. And let's not forget the run that they had to get to where they are. They both had a similar run in general. They played against each other several times. And you know what? On one account, Rebel, a Pro League team much earlier than that of Elevate that struggled and actually only ended up getting it in the last chance qualifier. But either way, they're both Pro League teams, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You mentioned that slaying power. What else do we have to look out for?
Man, what is we're gonna have to look out for is gonna come down to the strategies of both these squads. You got a lot of veteran players on both these teams. Let's talk about Rebel, okay?
Sure.
You got the man himself, Chaos, on this roster, and when it comes down to it, sorry, not Chaos on the roster. I'm talking about Addvers, the vet. But you got Addvers here on the roster, man. And when it comes down to Addvers, he is a jack of all trades, okay?
Yes.
He does it all. And another player I feel that way about is going to be Reflame. So Addvers and Reflame, two guys who I'm expecting to keep everybody else composed. And when you see this team with their back up against the wall, I'm looking towards them to bring it back for them.
But of course, you can't forget Crack, right? The new addition to this roster, the superstar signing for this very team. And I'm going to be very, very curious to see how he plays today because, Crack has been there. He's done that. And there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, I think, especially for Rebel, right? He needs to perform well, and we expect him to perform well. But as we do transition to our other team, Elevate, right? This is a team that I'm really happy to watch. And I think for a lot of others out there, they're very happy to watch this as well. You have a little bit of LATAM. You've got NA into the mix, and as well as EU. There was a lot of commitment for several of these members here, specifically Dragonz, right? EU coming all the way over, traveling to Mexico to compete with this roster and just to qualify at the skin of your teeth, man. It would have been heartbreaking if Elevate would not have made it into the Pro League, but they're here and they're making the most of it.
Man, this is such a fun roster to me, okay? You have this core foundation of Nero, Crabyys, and Gary's, guys who have worked together before in LATAM. And then you get this main slayer in Dragonz coming from the EU region. And then you get the jack of all trades, The Rock, exclusive, bringing some of that North American strategy and composure to this play style of this squad. And this is a team that can play at the highest pace, at the fastest pace, that will get in your face, force these shotgun fights, and win it in style. And then also they know when to flip the switch, step onto their back foot, play defense, and let you walk right into their traps and take over the round. So I'm excited to see some of that play style as we get into map number 1.
Well, you didn't mention Crabyys, though. Crabyys, that main slayer as well, coming through the mix. Man, Crabyys is a dominant slayer, a player that I'm very excited for. But on the other side, you have Crack, right? That's going to go head-to-head with this very man. Let's talk about both of them, right? If you look at the stats, it doesn't tell you the whole story, but at least gives you some insight. They're very well-versed and pretty close to each other with Crack. Overall KDA of 1.9. Then on the other end, you have Crabyys 1.71. Down the list, I mean, seriously, it's almost side-by-side, albeit average assists, kind of a little bit to the wayside, but they're not really worried about that. They're worried about getting into the fight, winning those initials, and being in your face, right? So assists, they'll take them if they come. For the most part, they're going out for those kills, and that's why they're represented with a 1.9 and a 1.71 KDA. But I'm really excited about this matchup overall. Crabyys is for me, is a big storyline because, we witnessed what happened during season finals. Him playing on Fire and Ice versus Pittsburgh Knights. We saw the beatdown that occurred, man, and it broke my heart. I'm not going to lie. So I expect a lot from Crabyys coming through with Elevate. I want to see him avenge himself, especially as we develop this storyline throughout this season. But going against Crack, man, Crack is going to, come in as well. I mean, for this Rebel roster and just go head-to-head. For me, I'm excited about it. I think this is going to be your main storyline, and these two players you have to watch out for.
You are absolutely right. Crabyys, he is one of the next upcoming superstars of this LATAM region. Ryan, called him out early on as he was going through those Challenger series that he was going to be a player that you have to look out for, and he was right. Crabyys has done nothing but entertain us, and we've watched him make play after play. Now, Crack, he's been around for a very long time. He's a vet in his own right, and we'll see what he can do. We'll see how he can calm down the young superstar in Crabyys.
That's the thing, man. You got to calm them down, right? You got to bring a little bit of a level head to these younger rosters, these younger players, if you will. Let's move into our pick and bans because I haven't seen these as of yet. And I want to see if Forge is going to be it. There it is. Forge, first map for Elevate. It makes sense. Time and time again, Rebel and Elevate have just clashed on this Forge map. and it seems as if they're going to be doing it once again. Then we have Vastguard Asylum, but Blaze, for you, Forge has to be the standout map.
Yeah, Forge is most definitely a standout map. It's gonna come down to that fight up top at Button, and who has the best duo, right? Who has the best main slayers? You know, we've seen some strategies where teams let us send 3 players up top. If they feel like they're kind of getting too overpowered, and then they'll place weapons around that to build strategy. But we'll break down all that action as we get in throughout the map. Moving on throughout the rest of it, Asylum is going to be scrappy. That's a textbook map if we get there. But Rebel, they're looking to show some of their experience on Vastguard, Reflame, Addvers. Those are, like I was talking about before, 2 players that you want to look out for. They're going to be looking to either close the series out on Vastguard for Rebel, which I think is going to happen, or they'll be pushing it towards a map 3.
So that's the thing, man. And, you know, this is actually an interesting transition that you just set up, because we're moving into our predictions, which is going to be a lot of fun, right? And I do believe we are keeping track of who is going to be correct. And, hey, man, I got to go first. I'm happy to do so. I was already stirring the pot earlier on social media between Rebel and Elevate, because they were going back and forth. And Rebel ended up coming back saying, hey, prediction-wise, who's going to win it? They said, we're going to win it 2-0. I added Elevate. I had to, of course. I got to get them in the conversation. Elevate said, you know what? You misspoke. We're going to win 2-0. I love that back and forth, and I love stirring the pot, man, with these organizations. But for me, I'm just going to get it out of the way. Hey, it's a lot of fun, man. It's Gears of War. You got to have that trash talk, right? For me, I'm going with Rebel, though. I think Rebel is going to take this. I personally, you know what? It's not even required of me, but I think it's going to be a 2-0. If they win on Forge, wrap it up. It's over with.
Yeah, and Taylor, man, I'm gonna have to piggyback off of that one. I think Rebel comes out here and they take this matchup as well. I think it's just a little bit too much experience there on that team, and too much chemistry compared to this Elevate roster.
Sure.
You got 3 regions on this team, on this one squad there for Elevate, and I still think they just need a little bit more time to come together, and they will at some point. I just don't know if it's gonna be in this series.
That's the thing. But you know what? We're usually not the smartest ones, despite us being in front of the camera all the time, all right? Chat normally is always right. So let's move to a chat prediction, see what they're thinking. Hey, wait a second. We might be smart. We might be getting 5 head
arrows.
Here.
Okay, this is a good one. That's a good match.
You know why I like this, though? Because Elevate's now the underdog. So what do they do with it, Blaze? What are they going to do as the underdogs? Are they going to be able to come through and win this?
They got to prove us wrong, Taylor. It's as simple as that, man. They got to look at this and say, okay, everybody is doubting us. They don't think that we can come out here and take out Rebel. Well, now is the time. The stage is yours. Show us what you're made of.
Absolutely. You know what? Let's go back to what you were talking about before. Rebel being a more congealed team, right? They come together much more efficiently, and it's very clear to see that. Let's not forget Nidays just the other day. They ended up, taking a map off, or taking a series off of UIU, knocking them out early on. That was a huge, huge upset. So the potential is there. And one of those maps actually was, in fact, on Forge. They were able to win quite convincingly. So now heading into Forge versus Elevate, you have that teamwork from Rebel, but you got that raw slaying power from Elevate. But as you said, Blaze, they just don't come together as a team, it seems. And we've seen that throughout the Pro League qualifiers as they were trying to qualify the tiebreaker tournament, right? We witnessed it in the LCQ. They've got so much potential, but that teamwork is just not at the forefront.
Yeah, and as time goes on, I think it's all gonna come together for them. It's just that you need to make sure that your squad is in a great situation, a great environment for that growth. Now, we talk a lot about teams having perfect practice so that they can be properly prepared for some of these pressure matchups, but nothing's like when a match is here, when the league has started, and you're playing some of these tournament matches to really see what your team is made out of, and see if all that practice can really come together and you guys can have that chemistry. But some lessons are only learned in matches like these, and so I think that's why it's going to take them a little bit of time.
And this is what I'm really excited for, because like I said, we've watched these teams clash throughout, the Pro League qualifiers and whatnot, but we haven't really seen them at the highest capacity here against each other, right? So I'm very curious to see, did they clean up their act? For Elevate, they need to watch out for those ego chows. That's one of their biggest deficiencies, is they'll go in a 1v2 when they shouldn't be there, right? Or even a 1v3, right? I mean, they're not shy about it, especially Crabyys, right? He loves to get in your face. So for him, as well as the others, I want to see them come together. Wolfpack, that's the biggest thing. That's what makes VQ, right, so dominant, so strong. That's why they were able to get that victory over Rise. Is their slaying power, but they also work together as a team, and they're like a brick wall. You can't run through it, Blaze. So Elevate's got to tone down that individuality. They got to tone down the ego chows.
Yeah, and you got Crabyys, okay? You got Crabyys, you got Nero, you got Gary, and those three guys are already dominant slayers. But then you add Dragon to the mix, and you go back to last season. That's a player in which we would never have thought to be
Sure.
able to play, and lead a trio like that when they are going around Wolfpack. And so they have to lean into that. But on the flip end, thankfully, they do have exclusive on their team because
That's
he's
true.
going to have to reel them back when they get too aggressive. And they're going to have to just, as the league goes on, master that dance because it is a dance of applying pressure to your opponent and being smart enough to take your foot off the gas and keep them flustered to make them have to frantically clear their home hill back up on the map as you're gaining control on other portions of the map. And just the back and forth of that makes dominant teams.
100%. And as we do get loaded into the lobby, chat, I want you to support your favorite team. Of course, we already know Ink and Deluxe and the Rebel crew. They're going to be there, but Elevate, I'm looking towards you guys out in the chat to really bring that fuego, bring that heat, and represent your team well. They're already against you, whether it be myself, Blaze, or chat. Hey, so you got to make it up by supporting them in the chat overall. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it started.
Yes, it
and
is.
just as a side note for you guys out there, of course, you come here, and I know you guys want your skins. We are, in fact, giving those skins away still. Go to live.gearsofwar.com
Get your
where you can
skins.
go ahead and do your Hey, I know everybody wants that bedazzled skin, that showdown skin, and also,
The
if
bedazzled
you did miss out
boombox.
yesterday, if you missed out yesterday, that's okay. You will have a second chance to go ahead and get those skins today. But here we are underway. Blaze, call it for me.
All right, we got Rebel in blue, Elevate in red. Already off to a great start. So you're going to see here, Crack moving up towards the top. Going to lose that fight, but he's going to have some help there from Demon. So far, so good for Rebel off the initial there, Taylor. Going to come out here, pick up multiple kills, and now they're going to have Elevate on their back foot. Nero, he has to defend his home hill, but he's getting pressured by two. Can he at least take out one? He cannot. Did he buy his team enough time? No.
Did not, man. This is already tough. Elevate, come on. You got to fight for it. You got to go in. And luckily, they're going to push Rebel back momentarily, but they're still at the forefront, so not out of hot water just yet. Gary is going to get chunked. Crack's going to move in as well. My lord, what happened to the Elevate roster? It looks like they're all gone as Rebel just wipes them out and gets the domination in 57 seconds. Round number 1 for Split 1. Day 2 is already done.
In the books, Rebel, they come out and they strike first. You got 4 kills on the board for Demon. Man, it's not enough that we can say about this player. You know, over this Gears 5, ever since Gears 5 really dropped, he's been making a name for himself. And hey, he's been out here taking over the spotlight and just slaying out. So let's see what's going to happen here on this weapon selection. See what does Rebel want to put down first, and they're going to choose to put down a smoke, front spawn utility. And once again, same thing on the other end. So we saw recently that the pistols got removed from competitive play. And on a map like this, we saw some teams come out with those double talons in the top tower. And that was, man, it's not a fun fight to be a part of. So
No.
happy to see them gone, and we'll see the type of balance that brings this season.
All right, Gary up close, getting Demon down. That's a solid start. Crabyys going to be behind him, looking to get revenge from that round number 1, and they take it with
Elevate.
ease. So that's a huge start. 4 players down. Addvers, he gets brought down to 1 shot. He's still going to be up now, just trying to stay up. But at this point in time, they know where he's at. He's about to get sandwiched. He gets taken down, and Elevate looks to answer back quickly. My lord, I know that wasn't 57 seconds. That was 33. And Elevate said, hold on a second, Rebel. Don't get too excited just yet. We're still in this.
That was a nice response to them. Exclusive Gary. They led the pack there, 3 kills apiece for both of them, and they strike back. They had a better initial off this time around when it came down to control tower. And, you know, one trait that you have to have as a professional team is to be able to gather information on what your opponent's doing round after round, because the initial is everything. It dictates the pace throughout the rest of that round. And we know when it comes down to the earlier rounds of escalation, those respawn timers are the highest. So you need to make sure that you're paying attention to the little adjustments that your opponent is making.
All right, round number 3 already here. If you blinked, you missed it. He's less than 2 minutes in total for those first 2 rounds. Crack's gonna Get a smooth shot onto Gary, who is trying to roll into those DMs. He gets shut down. Elevate, though, already on the overextension. That's going to be led by Exclusive as well as Nero. They're going to get that double home hill setup. The battle for neutral still underway. Player 6, that's Dragonz, caught out of positioning. He's going to get bullied down, and Rebel's going to go ahead and capitalize by taking their own home hill. So even though Rebel starts off a bit sluggish, they end up losing that top fight. No worries at all. They end up recovering control. And well, I say that, and Elevate's already off the respawn, but either way, they're going to have a minor lead, but not too much.
Yeah, as that was breaking down, you saw there, Elevate, the home hill players are really able to push through and buy their team some time. Rebel, they made a play to take out the players up top as they were retreating off the initial from control tower, but after they were caught out, Elevate, they extended the round, so Rebel wasn't able to do too much off of that. They did enough, though. They got the 2-to-1 heal setup, and that's step number 1. Hey, well, step number 2. Step number 1, you win initial. Step number 2 is you get the setup, all right? But now, let's see if Rebel can kind of turn this into a round win. Elevate's doing a good job being able to push out of this difficult situation now, but they got to get out of this mid-map position because they are caught in the middle of the trap that Rebel has set up from multiple angles, but you see Crabyys is able to bully his way out of that position.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I mean, what does it amount to? Rebel already gets the break on the home hill as they bully Exclusive out. Meanwhile, 6 is going to get the break onto C. A lot of objective work going down. Rebel will lose the lead momentarily as long as Rebel doesn't get the breakthrough, and player 5 is already going to be threatening that, challenging Nero on that neutral. He'll be joined by Kardia as well, so Nero's really got to do something here, but he's not able to handle it. Rebel now going for that domination, but player 8 is in fact going to get that break on A. From what I'm seeing, though, Elevate's making a lot of great plays, but I mean, Rebel, they're just all over those hills, man, and objectively, they're just outplaying Elevate.
You know, Rebel has done such a great job at getting mid-map control and keeping it. They've constantly been winning this fight towards B. They've been staying close together. Like, I've been paying attention to this mini-map, and not one time have I seen it 3 players not together, and the other 2 players just out there supporting that group, staying at a safe distance, and they're doing a good job focusing the attention of this fight.
This is Elevate. Yeah, Elevate's not even going to respawn back in. They're going to go in and concede the round. They know it's over with. You know, I was impressed when they started pressing forward to the home hill setup, the double home hill setup. They were wolfpacking together. They made an audible as one player dropped through mid, and they all chose to rotate through mid. That's when we seen Crabyys, pick up a kill just on the other side of that barrier through mid. But Rebel just has this ability to just totally outslay the Elevate roster anytime they go head-to-head. It doesn't matter if it's a mismatch. It doesn't matter if it's, 3v3 or 4v4. Rebel tends to win those fights. And things just got that much scarier given the fact that now you've got Rebel who has the marks on their side. So Elevate has to make a decision here. Do they already want to go for the block? Well, it seems as if no, and actually we're well on our way to double Torque, which we don't see often, but we do see it sometimes.
Hey, Rebel says we have no problem playing that strategy if that's what you choose to do, but as we know, this is going to be an important round because the team that wins this round is going to make a decision if that Torque will go center or if it goes in electronics. But here we go off the start, 2v2 fight up top control tower. Crack hits a nice spread there, but even after hitting the second shot that wasn't so well, Gary turns to tide up the fight, and both players are going to choose to go for a flank, but who's going to make it happen faster? And it's going to be actually Demon picking up that kill, and he's going to call out Gary, says, hey, watch your back. We got a straggler here behind enemy lines looking to make some plays. But Rebel, they do a good job controlling the initial. They won the fight up top. They got control at B, and defending their home hill for a little. Taylor, this whole fight is getting turned around by Elevate currently.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I'm looking right now at Nero and Exclusive as they were locking down A. Both of them get cleaned up, though. Player 4 makes a great play. Kardia able to get the 2-piece, but still Elevate going for that domination. But it looks as if Rebel on the back of Kardia is going to be able to break through their home hill. And that's okay. Even though Elevate was starting to flip the script, right, starting to flip the round on their head, they only lost about a 20-point lead, okay? So they have a minor deficit, but they're already recovering by getting onto B. So if I'm Elevate, right, I'm starting to play objectively. I'm starting to, bounce around. I'm not going toe-to-toe here on B because it's just not going to make sense.
Yeah, no, I completely feel you on that one. Just hold off for now. We seeing the push come here through middle. Double down. Is the kill going to get cleaned up? Yes, they will for Elevate. So B hill is going to transition on over. 2-to-1 hill advantage for them. And now they're going to be swarming on over towards A. Only 2 players left to defend it. That's going to be 3 and 5. Can they hold off? They got to make a play now, Taylor. Flash grenades are out, but can they break the hill? The neutralization is there. First kill comes through, but that back A from Crabyys is going to get that hill turned on over towards Elevate, but it's still some Rebel members waiting in the B.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Now you got Reflame and Crack on their last life. Okay, so there's still a lot to be played here. And Rebel, with the deficit that they have, they've got to start making desperation pushes. And that's never a thing you want to do when you have Crack and Reflame on their last life. Speaking of which, Crack is already out. He's been finished off. Nero, as well as Gary, were able to pick off a slew of Rebel players, as Demon will also fall to the wayside, and it looks like Elevate's going to be able to clean this up. I just don't see Rebel getting back into it, but this was an important round for Elevate to take place, given the fact that they were down, so they'll go into the second half tied up 2-2.
This was a big round, and we talked about it before because now they're going to get to decide which torque bows. Are they going to go for double bows or bow in the center line?
Right.
Now they got to officially put the nail in the coffin, and with that kill there, it should do it. You got Addvers spawned up, but he's not going to be able to slay out this whole team, get the triple neutralization, and get all hills capped up. Like you said, Elevate round, and now we get to see where the power weapons are going to go. 2-2 so far. Close series.
Round 4, by the way, that was like the longest one we've seen as of yet. Let's not forget the first couple of rounds that were less than 2 minutes. Now let's see what goes down. I think they're doing double torque bow. I really do. I think that's going to be the play, yeah. So it's going to be double torque bow. That changes things. It makes things a lot more interesting, a lot more entertaining, especially for that incinerator fight. You'll still see that control tower battle going down typically at 2v2, but now you have to watch your back because you don't know if anyone's going to be able to angle you out when you're up top. I've seen time and time again players push that control tower fight to win control of button and then get torque bowed in the back. And it seems as if both torque bows are going to go for E, and that battle will go down. Either way, Gary is going to be in that fight. Crack and Demon just on the other side. Crabyys down low. An important fight underway, and Gary's going for it. Demon, he's going to get chunked. Crack as well with the misroll. He's going to get peppered. But he manages to capitalize. That cannot happen. Crack might be able to make it out, but no, Crabyys shuts him down. But the fact that he got one of them, that's big.
That was huge. Both players kind of got stuck on the cover there just a bit. It was able to allow Crabyys to come back and clean up the fight here towards the end. But as you're going to see, he's got a backup for now, Taylor, as he's taking some damage, but his teammates behind him. So Elevate just needs to relax, keep control of this up top tower control. Because one, they want to keep the button. Their team does not have control of E just yet. And not even just having button control up top, control tower, you want to have that cross as well. So now Elevate's going to spring into action, pick up 2 kills outside towards Incinerator. And with that, they should be able to get E, but they want just a bit more. Got to make sure they can clean up this kill as well, utilizing that that one-man advantage in the 2v1 to make sure that they keep fighting for map control. Take what you can get while your opponent is dead. Even though you win the fight there for Incinerator, you don't have to just, sit back right away, especially when the respawn timers are this high.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh man, and Elevate's going to use that respawn timer to their advantage. They're going for that domination, and yep, can't get that touch, and that's going to be Elevate answering back, taking the first major lead, or at least the first lead for them, right? 3-2. Elevate, hey, they're angry. They said, hey, we saw that prediction. Okay, we saw all those predictions. You guys are against us. We'll show you that you all are wrong. And it looks as if they're well on their way to doing so.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like that. Now, we saw, great usage out of Turbo there in that last round. Both these squads are going to put that timer in half. So every minute and 15 seconds, 3 torque bows are going to be spawning up on the map. So what is that going to do? Firstly, if you got a sharpshooter on your team, he can make that pick. Hell, it might even get a little torque bow battle across towards the middle to start. But if your team loses this initiative, you just got to figure out how to just slow your opponent down till those next set of bows come up. Little team kill by exclusive after Gary got the kill. So did a little bit too much with that bow. With Crabyys left in a 1v1, exclusive's going to have to rotate back and try to make up for it.
Oh no, man. You only get 3 shots, and right there. Oh, what? That was a beautiful connection. Exclusive on the Demon, and I guess he redeemed himself. I mean, hey, he didn't lose that much after that kill. That team kill. I mean, it is what it is. Crabyys is able to back off. Even if he wins that 1v1, that'd be okay. Break on the E going through. They know they can do so because Gary is going to be up top on that button. Kardia, though, he's going to try and make him pay. Gets a connection on the 1, and now he's going to get angled out. Dragonz takes him down. Elevate, man. I like this aggression. I like this pressure. Rebel is struggling to deal with it. But hey, hold up a second. Crack is looking to make some magic happen.
Yes, he is. But he's going to fall to Dragonz and Elevate, looking to get this trip cap domination, but nobody has capped E. They're on top of their opponent's home hill. They're sending Nero back to cap E now, but they got to hold off this assault. That's going to be one player down. Here comes two more, and that's a double kill. Kardia left by his lonesome. Wow. He goes down and Elevate. Wow. 2 rounds back to back. Hey, make it 3. Looking good.
They're looking real good. They're looking real good. They're doing everything right. Rebel, where you at? We need to see a little bit more. I expected this round to be close. If Elevate takes this 5-2, my goodness. Hey, while you're at it, might as well support them with those skins available in the game. I mean, that is clean, and Elevate right now is representing well. So if you want to get better in the game, hey, its stats prove that you'll be 90% better at your game if you unlock one of those skins. Drop shot in mid. That is a fact.
That is a fact. Hey, you know, when I chose my skins, I had to make sure, I put a little wisdom into it. Okay, I had to get UIU Lancer skin. All right, because I wanted the best. I wanted to have this team with the best cross in the game. All right, I had to make sure I had my Hive Shotty because I wanted to channel my inner Noah, when I had to, entry frag, but. Hey, it works out just a bit.
What? Exclusive comment down, my guy. That's the second team kill. Now, granted, they're winning the rounds. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a ritual. You know, some people, they got to wear their favorite socks. They got to wear their favorite shoes, their favorite hat, right? Maybe Exclusive, he's like, all right, my first bolt has to kill at least one of my teammates if we're going to win the round. Maybe it's just a ritual at this point.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But he's going to have to make up for that one once again. Now, luckily for him, his team has a bit of momentum to play around with winning these last 3 rounds in a row. Gary, he's going to make sure he gets a kill with that. But the heal's already capped up there for Elevate. Now, let's see. So Rebel's already off respawn. Hill capped up. They got 2 players about to drop down low and get this E-Hill. Gonna have to hold back. Priority up top first.
And Elevate's got 3 people there to the 2 of Rebel, so a mismatch, and absolutely take advantage. Look at Dragonz, man. He's not playing around. Addvers and Crack will drop. He's mad. He was team killed off the start. Oh, drop shot out. It's going to connect onto 1. Actually, no, another team kill.
Okay.
Man, I don't know what's going on tonight, but starting us off, a lot of team kills. But Demon, he's going to get blindsided. Exclusive runs through. Crack and Addvers last alive as we have a fight going down. Addvers and Crack, though, are clutching up, and they're still alive, and the torque bow's in their hand. But watch out. Crabyys from the corner. He's going to get taken out, and Rebel will stay alive on the back of Crack and Addvers plays.
Oh, man. Good plays by them. But they're going to have to not die to the incinerator again. And so that's going to be another kill picked up. But if we're trying to get up top control, they're going to get pushed back here as well. So far is not looking good for Rebel. Actually, you know, if they can make this flank happen, number 5's behind him currently, Taylor. But he's going to get picked off here. Can Reflame make a miracle happen? He cannot. It's up to Kardia. But with this kill coming through, can't do it just yet. D and E are already capped up for Elevate in this round. One more respawn left. Cracks on his last life.
Crabyys showing that love. Crabyys is showing that love, Blaze. He is ready. He knows the position they're in. Look at that lead. Just about over 100. It'll be 100 soon. Elevate is walking away with this, it seems. Man, and you know what's heartbreaking? Because Kardia and Addvers have done everything in their power to keep that team alive, but Rebel, the rest of the members are just not behind them. Look at that slaying power. Crack on his last life. Addvers about to spawn up on his last as well. Demon already at 1 out of 4. Even if this goes the distance, Rebel is not going to be healthy.
Nah, they definitely won't be, Taylor. They're going to have to get through this. But this is this hill may be too steep for them to get over. We'll see. Multiple dying here outside electronics. E's not going to be decapped. This is going to be an Elevate map #1 win. And the slaying power up top was just a little bit too much.
Never, all right, first and foremost, this is the first Gears match I've ever cast where I saw so many team kills happen, yet the team that was team killing was the team that was dominating and winning. So, hey, some teams have their own vices, okay? VQ loves to lose the first round. We know this. Great has already said it in chat many times. Look, this is just how my team operates, okay? Colin tried to shut it down, but it seems as if it's still a trend that happens nonstop. But maybe when it comes to Elevate, the ritual that they have is they got a team kill at the very beginning, and then everything starts to even out and they're good to go. They got to just make sure that their shot is shooting true. And what a better way to test that than your own teammate plays. I don't know if it's a wise decision, but clearly it worked. But hey, Elevate does lead the way 1-0. And good for them, man. This could now go to a game number 3.
Yeah, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Elevate. They saw our predictions as it started this one. They says, okay, everybody's against us. They don't think that we can come out on top against Rebel. Well, let's prove to the community and all the talent and the casters that hey, we got what it takes to come out on top. But it's not over yet. That's just a map number 1 victory. Now, Elevate needs to show us that they can hold composure and close it out here in Vascar as we go on over towards Rebels map pick.
And Rebels map pick is going to be a good one. Obviously, Vascar, we're going to get to see a lot of slaying power from both ends. And I expected a little bit more here, but Forge, let's face it, it's not Vascar. It doesn't play the same, even though you have those isolated fights, which are up top. You got those isolated fights that take place on the second half for E and Incinerator. But either way, Vascar is unique because you just constantly have 3 members from both teams going neck to neck. Then you have 2 members, you know, who are typically fighting for one hill, or maybe you even have all 4 or 5 at the same time. So for me, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, the thing, I don't want to, I'm not switching my prediction. I still think Rebel's going to come ahead and they're going to win this. How can I switch it now? It's already out there in the universe. But
exactly.
The thing is, Elevate Blaze, they showed a lot of slaying power there. And more importantly, I didn't see any ego challenges. I saw a lot of teamwork. That makes them scary.
Yeah, no, that's something that you got to be terrified of, especially going into Vascar, the map that I think takes the most teamwork out of our 7-map cycle. So Elevate showing that the chemistry is on point today. They're listening to each other. They're not clogging up the comms. The small talk is seeming to be well after what we saw on this Forge 5-2 victory. But we'll see if they can take it on over to Vascar. Because as I said before, Addvers and Reflame are 2 players who I'm expecting to go big on this map to bring it in for Rebel, and we will see if they can do that. If not, Elevate, they'll be coming out getting their first win.
Which would feel good, which would feel really, really good. You know, the storyline that we developed going into this matchup was Crack versus Crabyys, okay? I think we definitely seen that take place. The Crabyys had the edge. Maybe not in the, the first half, okay? I think it was very even. But that second half was a totally different ballgame, totally different story. Elevate really woke up, and they didn't lose a round after that, right? So Crabyys heating up, already showing the love. You're seeing that confidence come through. Crabyys is a dominant slayer. That man, once he gets confident and he has the teammates to back him up, because that was one of the biggest things that he struggled with when it was on Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice, they would show these great moments where they would come together very well, but it always seemed as if Crabyys was kind of outshining everyone on that roster, surprisingly, because he is still that young player, right? He's still making a name for himself. But now, if Elevate can back him up appropriately, much like Fire and Ice didn't do in the seasons prior, I think Crabyys is going to be okay. And he really showed that he is slaying well tonight. He's playing well tonight on all cylinders. It makes him that much scarier.
Yeah, it's nice when you are a young talent, a young slayer, and you got your teammates there to back you up and to support you and make you look great. But then also sometimes you gotta, say, you know what, let me take a step back sometimes and let my teammates shine and do what I got to do for the squad. And that's usually one of the most important lessons when it comes down to, young slayers like that they have to learn early on in their careers. I think Craby's well on his way to learning that. And, with this Elevate roster, we saw the teamwork there off that last map. I think he's on the route to doing so. So we'll see what they get, what's going to happen here in Vascar. But Crabyys, man, we talk a lot about him, and I think we're going to continue to keep talking about him throughout the entirety of this Pro League.
Oh, 100%. I mean, come on. This whole roster for Elevate is great. Dragon played well. I mean, hands down. Like, he was in multiple clutch situations on Forge just before this versus Rebel, and he clutched up. He performed really, really well. The only people on Rebel that really impressed me, I'm going to be honest with you, was Addvers and Kardia. Those 2 players were constantly clutching up and making moments happen, but if you only have 2 players doing that and the rest of the 3 are falling behind, you're not going to win a game. And we saw much the same in regards for that last map. So I need Crack. I need Reflame. I need Demon to step it up. You mentioned Reflame. He's going to have to go big Blaze on this Vascar map. And this whole team right now needs to step it up if they want to see a game 3.
Yeah, and hey, now is the time for them to do so. Nothing like having a little pressure on your back as you're going into map number 2. And because I don't know what it is. We see a lot of map 3s, and when it comes down to it, I feel like we see that because sometimes teams they can't keep that composure to close it out in map number 2 there.
Sure.
But yeah, they just something about it, even when I was scrimming back in the day, just something about when my team gets a lead, everybody they take their foot off the gas a little bit. They feel like a little bit of weight is off their shoulders, but you can't let that happen when you're playing in a pro league. You got to be focused all the way down to the last round, okay? And I think Crabyys know a little bit about staying focused all the way down to the last round, all right? And a few other players that's in his lobby as well. So we'll see who got what it takes to come out on top on Vasgar. But hey, I think we're gonna see a map 3. I think Rebel, they come out on top. I think they take this one and they keep it close.
I hope they do. I really do. I don't want to see blowouts 2-0s, even though it moves the time along, right? They respect our time. At the end of the day, I do want to see those game number 3s, and that's what we live for when the pressure is on. What are you made of? What can you do? Elevate, though, man, if they are able to take this victory, that'd be big for them, given the fact that they did lose yesterday to Hive 2-1. So they need to step it up and at least even up the playing field, right? And, even up that overall record. You don't want to fall behind too early with it only being week 1. That loss, can still compound over time, right? I mean, if you fall behind, Blaze. So not some place you want to be, but hey, it is what it is. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. And that's not what you want to be saying at the end of it.
Yeah.
You want to be saying, hey, check it out. I'm the champion.
Yep, and what all these teams need to understand is that this is a marathon. It is not a race to who comes out on top in these earlier weeks, sitting at the top of the leaderboard. It's about who can stay consistent and keep getting better. Because as I said before the last match, that Pro League matches is a different environment than the scrims in which you're going to have. This pressure, the unique strategies in which teams are going to bring out for these type of matches is it's a different feel. So that type of experience that you can only get here is going to make your team better. You guys are going to learn some weaknesses against you guys. You guys are going to learn, what you guys are really strong at, and you just need to take that and progress on it, okay, throughout week after week, and we'll see if which team is going to do that by the time this is all over.
I'll definitely find out. That is for certain, and I love the coverage we're already bringing to all of you guys out there when it comes to the Gears scene. Of course, Monday being Challenger Series, then Tuesday, Wednesday being our Pro League, and then Thursday being E-Days. I mean, it's literally just nonstop Gears. It's a great thing, so make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already. I see you guys out there talking in chat. I know everybody wants those skins, and there's a big debate. Can you take the skins or did you miss out on the skins from yesterday? You did not. As I said before at the beginning of the broadcast, I'll say it again. If you go to live.gearsofwar.com, you'll have your chance to claim those skins that you missed out on yesterday. They're not lost, okay? They didn't just disappear into a black hole in the universe, okay? They are still there for you to claim. Live.gearsofwar.com. Go ahead, check it out. Get involved, finish those quests. Hey, and the quests are important, Blaze. You know all about. Hey, you love your skins, Blaze. I know you do.
I do, but I don't think I've gotten like any skin that has been like given away on broadcast over this last year. I don't know, because I'm always on broadcast.
Yeah,
I'm always on broadcast. Yeah.
You could just casually have it off to the side and claiming your skins. Undedicated, Blaze.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
You might be right, Taylor. I don't know. Hey, I got my UYU Lancer. I got my Hive Shotty and my Rise Nation pistol. Okay, I got the only 3 skins I want, and I did.
These are free. Come on, bedazzled skins, man.
The color scheme on that one is actually pretty sick. I'm not even gonna lie.
You like it?
I do like that a little bit.
Does it sparkle? I mean, bedazzle. If I think bedazzle, I think sparkle.
Has a tad bit of shine on it. But when we see the boombox, as we like to joke around, as Ryan has coined, the overkill. When we get to see it in competitive play, it puts on a show. I like to call it the bunker buster. It locks down lanes no matter where players are coming from. Pretty much as you're coming up with strategy, that's the one lane that you just do not want to go through. It's like, all right, let's just rotate around the map because we're not going to insta-die that way. No, sir.
And you will insta-die, man. You run into
100%
that.
Every time.
It's almost like the claw, man. Run into that, it's love. I still find it funny. You got Gears, which is like the most masculine game in the world, man. The testosterone just flows through your veins. And then you got a Swarm, running around with the bedazzled boombox. I don't know. For me, it's just funny. It's comical, man. And then when you get taken out, when you get destroyed by a bedazzled boombox, then you're just like, man, what am I doing wrong? All right. What you're doing wrong is you didn't go to live.gears of war and you're not rocking the skin yourself, right? That's what you're doing wrong. So get involved and go ahead and check it out. But once again, chat, I'm going to ask you, all right, check it out. I know it's overkill, Eric. I know it's overkill. We just like to have fun and call it boombox. But either way, chat, let us know who's taking it. Elevate Rebel. Elevate's got a really good position now to close this out 2-0. Something no one, including myself or yourself, Blaze, as well as chat, saw happening.
No, we didn't predict that. Okay, after we saw Rebels' performance yesterday and how well they started off the league and just how they've been progressing even throughout the LCQ and being one of the first teams to qualify. Hey, we expected they were going to keep on, but they ran into a little hiccup in map number 1 on Forge, but the series not over yet. We're about to head into their map pick on Vascar. And if this series goes the distance, we'll be on Asylum for map number 3. And we know how good Rebel is on Asylum. So,
yes.
It's set up there, Taylor.
And that's the thing, man. If Rebel loses this series with literally the maps benefiting them the entire way, that's going to be truly telling of this Rebel roster. So I do expect them to send it to a game 3. But upsets happen, right? Upsets will continually happen. EQ versus Rise, it was an upset, right? UYU versus PK, I think it could go either which way, but I did expect UYU to take that. But hey, PK is playing with that 5-man roster, so I guess it does make sense that they were able to take that victory. UYU, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. I know Ashes was very upset, but hey, to be expected. He is the coach of that team. He wants the best. He expects another championship, and that's what they are shooting for coming into it. Obviously, they are number 1. For Rebel, though, if they do in fact win, right? Let's look at this. They beat Noble yesterday 2-0. That was an impressive victory. So the fact of the matter is, to lead 2-0, have a flawless record after day number 2, right? Your opening week of Pro League, it's got to give you newfound confidence.
It definitely does. It would make me feel good, especially after all the effort the squad put in over the offseason to be able to kick this one off 2-0. But hey, Elevate is in their way. Now, their series yesterday against Noble, that was a good one. I'm expecting, but when it comes down to this Noble roster, that's another team in which I'm excited for coming up soon. But we'll see how they progress on throughout the season.
All right, well, chat, you know what? We listen. I've seen someone out there say, can you send it to the VQ game? Let's see what's going on with that. We're having technical issues with our first game, so let's send it over to Apricity versus VQ and see how this is going to work out. This is actually a special treat. We get to see VQ play once again after the victory versus Rise. But Apricity, a team that made it through the last chance qualifier, it's also exciting to watch them. But without question yesterday, they did, in fact, struggle versus Fire and Ice. From what I'm hearing around the horn, Fire and Ice had, a 69 total average kills on both maps that they won. That is insane. Well, what's going on here, Blaze? They're up 3-1 versus VQ.
Yeah, so with us just joining, we didn't see the previous rounds, but man, Apricity, they're letting VQ that, hey, just because we're the new kids in the Pro League, do not underestimate us. We are here to play. Vanquish, they took map number 1. But if they're going to close out this series 2-0, they got to close out this nail biter of a round. So, Vanquish, they got their home hill, currently fighting on neutral. And with Reptilian picking up that kill on Marshall, that should be it. With E captured.
Marshall.
Yep, Vanquish, they're going to get their second round in this matchup here. All right, this is a good one for us to jump into as we wait for the next series to get back underway.
I think so, because right now VQ is in position to have a good run. I think this could go the distance if VQ doesn't start taking away with this. And the reason why I say that is because we know the slaying power on second half is where VQ starts to dominate. They beat teams such as Pittsburgh Knights on this match. Actually, they've kind of run the gamut. Let's not forget VQ went undefeated in the first couple of weeks, not only in the Pro League they went undefeated on all 3 weeks of the Pro League qualifier to enter into the Pro League. And they also had that night on E-Day's week number 1 where they claimed the victory, where they went undefeated too. So they have a lot of legs here, and I do believe that they're going to fare a lot better on the second half, given the fact that they're fighting in that close tunnel fight. They love chaos.
Yes, they do love that chaos there. They love to get in your face because they got the Slayers to do so, and they got that presence when it comes down to these intense situations, when to back up, rotate out, and help out their teammates. They're going to have to bring all that to this fight, but Jax and Levels, they they're trying to paint a different picture here, Taylor, as they're looking to lock this map in. So great initial to them. They're gonna pick up a third kill as well. Multiple players respawned on the side of VQ. It is still 2 members of Vanquish defending this E-Hill for now, as they're gonna have to back up here just a bit. They're trying to get a chunk through the smoke, but they really can't get much intel from there. And it is gonna be Apricity pushing through, picking up 1 kill, looking to grab 2, and that's gonna be it for that team fight, as they're gonna lock in E and start to get set up, as they got 1 straggler left from the squad of Vanquish on top of their home hill, and that's the man himself, Precision.
Precision, man, a talking point, right? We constantly harp on how good Precision is. Some saying that he's actually one of the best currently in the game, and for good reason. He's just so dominant in his playing abilities. Alongside Reptilian, I mean, just you could go on for days, right, about this VQ roster, but I'm really impressed by Apricity, because even though VQ, on paper, right, it's just so slay heavy, Apricity is countering that by wolf packing together, right? I don't care how good you are at slaying out. If you're going against 3-4 members in this close contested area inside tunnel, you're not going to be able to capitalize and get that many kills. So Apricity is doing the right thing. They're wolf packing together, using that teamwork. But it's still a tough battle. VQ leads the series 1-0. It is a best of 3, so Apricity, this is a must win for them.
Must win for them indeed. Now, we saw VQ push up that ramp and get multiple kills there on Apricity. Now they're backing up. Let's see how Apricity can retake this hill, as they're gonna flash out Vanquish. So that was an easy disengage. Just having the pressure of their numbers was able to get them control over the hill. But as that was happening, VQ has already rotated towards their home hill. So they just chose to take that underpass and get out of there. Say, you know what? We just want to dodge this fight and get the 2-1 hill advantage.
Hey, we're going to keep you updated with how this is going down, but of course we have to focus on our main stage matchup, Rebel versus Elevate. The kinks have been worked out, and they're going to be transitioning into map number 2, which is Vaskar. Elevate having that 1-0 lead in a good position to take their first win here in Pro League after losing yesterday to Hive 2-1. We'll keep you updated. Don't worry, guys. All those off-stream matches, we're going to let you know what's taking place. Apricity could send it to game 3, and honestly, I hope they do. Put the pressure on VQ. Let them know that they can lead. No matter how much of a fan I am of them, I always love close series. Off to a good start, though, for the boys in Elevate. They've got A and B.
All right, so Elevate, they utilized their good spawn right off the start, so they're going to get A, and they actually meant to go get B as well. Usually, typically, when it comes down to that lower spawn, A and C control is usually where it's at, but off the start here, winning those fights, and then back on the other end of the map, they're getting aggressive towards pushing out of B on their opponent's side of the map, and they're picking up those kills as well. Great initial here by Elevate. Let's see if they can hold control, though.
Rebel, though, doing a great job on tank, but they're getting overwhelmed. It was a mismatch 3v2, and player 7 now is fighting for his life. Exclusive gets to break onto B. Luckily, though, off the spawn, Rebel's going to manage to take Charlie, but Elevate has a commanding lead. They've managed to gather that over time. Like you said, Blaze, that impressive initial. Now Rebel, they have to answer back, but they're being sluggish. Player 8 runs into a brick wall. That brick wall's name is Gary. And I gotta say right now, Rebel, they are not off to a good start. They are not looking good, and they need to look good, especially with this being their map.
So their home hill is under pressure currently by multiple members here of Elevate, and they're going to just back up because they don't want to fight the 2v3 without reinforcements. And we see those reinforcements in the back starting to rotate around now, and they're going to give themselves a leg up in this fight with 1 extra player. They're going to take that little bit of height advantage right there on the hillside to get some better angles for the cross. That's going to get them to kill on exclusive in control of their home hill as well. Now at this point, utilize your numbers, push through, get to A. That's what they're doing now.
Absolutely. Elevate, though, already recovering on A and B. That lead, I mean, is just so devastating. So at this point, Rebel has to literally pull a UIU special. We all know what that is, or I should say the optic special. That's a little bit more, pronounced. Everybody knows what that is they did it so many times during that Gears 4 season. Either way, the Rebels doing a great job. They're now wolfpacking together. They're pushing as one cohesive team, and they're doing this the right way. They took over Charlie. Now they've taken over Alpha. Now they're going to work their way over towards Bravo, which they know Elevate's going to be coming up that respawn. But I'm looking at player number 4. If he can rotate over, maybe sneak through, get C, I think Elevate can still win off of 1 hill.
Let's see if they can make it happen. He's going to have a 1v1 there in a bit with number 8. That's going to be Demon, and Demon takes out Dragonz. Trip cap domination coming through there for Rebel, and this is going to be looking like their round.
Kardia would pick up one, get that second on the finish, but looks like Rebel actually does in fact take it. Wow. Rebel had no business taking that. Elevate was in control the entire time, and no, Blaze,
none whatsoever, man. You know,
break it down for me, Blaze. What's going on?
Well, no, you know, when you look at the control that Elevate had early on, they had a nice sizable lead, but at some point you just need to know when to slow down and not play for too much. They tried to utilize their numbers and bully and try to kind of play for that trip cap domination early on, but it just did not work out for them. And Rebel, hey, they took over. But we'll see. We'll see what Elevate can do back in this round. Because as we know, it's Rebel who does not want to lose this series 2-0, especially how everybody, as we all predicted them to come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, man. You know, Elevate, that's just a communication issue. Like you said, not going for that triple cap, hanging back. They could have won off of one hill. There was no reason to continue to push as they did. And Rebel's going to eat that up. I think any of these pro league teams, I don't care if it's the People's Champs, like anybody's going to eat that up if you make a bad play. So Elevate, you got to taper that away. You had such a good lead. You did all that work for what? For Rebel to take round number 1. But hey, as round number 2 gets underway, let's see if it fares a lot better. Can Elevate clean it up? Well, we are going to see some lives lost on both ends. Elevate, though, will take the objective after they were able to take down Crack. But right now, player 1 is on the move. Crabyys is trying to get out of there because they've got Demon as well as Kardia hot on his heels.
Man, they got pushed out of that position. And out of that area of the map, that's a difficult one for you to have to give up because, you know, you're coming out of that top spawn. You have that high ground. But we saw there, it was Demon and Kardia says, hey, we want this entire area, and we're going to get it exactly what they did. Now, on the back end, we saw a mismatch of 3-2 strategies from both these squads. So Elevate put most of their forces through C trying to get to A, but Rebel did, you know, they were just able to hold their spine just enough as we saw Elevate come out. They won the fight, but now let's see if they can win it again. Gary, he got the down but could not get the kill. This time around, Rebel, they're able to keep control of A and now put some pressure on C up top.
So now we got a 2v2, 2 on C, 2 on B. As player 4 falls, that now solos out Crabyys. He's got to make a decision. Does he fight or choose to run away? Well, he's going to try and dip out, wait for his teammates to come off the respawn, but he might not have the chance here. As Lancer Fire's coming in, he's going to try and take one down. He doesn't. Now this is looking scary for the boys on Elevate. Gary and Exclusive are last up. Gary now is going to spot Kardia down low, and he's going to try and Lancer him out, but this isn't a fight he should be taking. There's no reason to go in for this other than the fact that you're making an ego challenge, and he gets taken out just like that. That is not what I want to see from Elevate. They do not need to be making those solo pushes into a 1v2 or 1v3 situation.
Hey, man, he lit them up, though. He lit both those players up. Dragonz was able to get both kills. The squad locks into B hill. So now Elevate, they're sitting pretty. They're going to lose a player at A, but they got to hold off their home hill in a 2v3 situation, being down a man. But the respawn, their spawn is right behind that hill, so Exclusive is able to get in the fight right away. The other 2 players do a good job positioning well, but this is a situation where if you're on Elevate, you cannot get down by any of these Rebel members whatsoever.
And Crack does it.
Oh, that was a big kill.
On player 2, if he can take player 4, I mean, and like you said, man, Elevate cannot afford. They had to play this flawlessly. The point is so close, and player 4 is dipped out, and that's on the back of Crack. Crack was the one who opened that door wide open, and he sprinted through. And now player 4 is fighting. He's doing a great job, and that's Dragonz. He gets shut down. Player 9 clutches up, but at the end of the day, Elevate still gets PNC. So they're still in control, and that's going to wrap it up. GG. But Elevate played that well, and if they didn't, hey, they were going to lose it.
Great job to Exclusive and Nero because they had a lot of discipline when it came down to holding that C hill as the push was coming through. Even though Crack had tried to make a play and get that kill, the remaining members from Elevate was able to overextend down low from B and keep enough map control for their team to win off that 2-1.
1-1 all tied up. Hey, Elevate could have been up 2-0, Blaze. What a coulda shoulda though, as it is. Nero is my biggest worry. Lives 1 out of 4, so he's got to watch out. We know how he likes to get into the thick of it, get into those fights, but he can't afford to do so. Gonna have to take a step back, at least for round number 3. And play that support role, get those assistant if you can. But those instants are going to make things tricky. Obviously, that instant kill potential is there. You connect on the Nero, it's going to be tough. If I'm Elevate, though, I'm going to try and find a way to solo out Crack. We know Crack is going to try and just angle out any opponents that he can. Look at this mismatch, man. Elevate 4 strong on the B. Rebel only has 3. If they can win this initial, that's gonna be good news.
No, that's going to be huge news, but Rebel is on a more favorable side of the map, so they can be down in man and keep this B hill neutralized and also utilize their utility, as we can see, to stop that push from around the tank. Now, where are the rest of their members? Well, they're taking a fight at A on their opponent's home hill after capping C, and they're able to drop back number 9 towards the mid-map to get an angle to be able to cross that hill and pretty much make that a 3v2 fight there just for a second for their team to cap the hill. 4 members down on Elevate side. Beautiful initial there by Rebels, but Dragonz, I don't know if he can turn up the heat hot enough to be able to stop this trip cap domination and buy his team some time. But with that 1 kill that he got, that was enough. That was enough.
It was enough, but I mean, the scary thing here for Rebel, or excuse me, onto the side of Elevate, is the fact that they take Nero out. Nero is now on his last life. He's obviously going to respawn back in. He's going to give it his best go, but if Rebel puts themselves in a 5v4 situation, Elevate's not going to be able to capitalize. Vascar is all about rotations. It's all about those mismatches and just going head-to-head with the team. If you're 1 player down, you are going to fall behind. So Elevate is in a dire situation. Just an update, by the way, Apricity did in fact win that bunker matchup 5-3 versus VQ. That means they're going to a game number 3. Apricity, hey, impressive stuff.
Hey, I love young teams coming through and making, you know, splashes on their debut in the Pro League. Like, you love to see it. Hey, we'll see what they can do. But they got to close it out. It ain't over yet.
You got to close it out. No, it's not over just yet. Taking 1 is fine. You got to take 2. Right? That's the only way you're going to get that W at the end of the day. If they beat VQ after VQ beat Rise, I don't even know how the season's going to go. All my stats and all my work before this preseason, I think for everybody is just like, we don't even know anymore. Predictions are out of the way. Reflame in a fight 1v2. He's going to get angled out. He's now gone. Exclusive also falls. Nero, though, still up, despite him being brought down to low health. And Crabyys is doing 1 great job. He's got 2 players down. He's got to get the finish on Reflame just in front. He's going to go for it. But you're going to have 1 on the end. And Crabyys pops off. And now he's not done just yet. Blazer still in more in front.
Let me see that crab walk one time. Yeah, hey, that would have got him banned if he pulled that off. But hey, he still got 4. That brought his team enough time to get 1 player rotated towards B, make sure their home hill was capped, and get a solid 3v3 fight on their opponent's home hill. But Rebel, they come off the respawn and they slay out, making their home hill the focal point. They were able to lock in the 1 hill in which they needed. Now they're looking for more.
Man, this is scary because now Rebel, oh yeah, there's that kick in the face. Hey, Crabyys, I'm gonna shut you down, okay? What you just did to our team, not acceptable. You're gonna get to boot to the face. I like it. Overall, Rebel, though, has put themselves in a great position. Although you see a lot of 1 out of 4s, 2 out of 4s, you don't see any 0%. You don't see any players who can't respawn back in. We still have 1 more round in the first half, which means Rebel has a very real opportunity to go up 3-1 here.
That's exactly what Rebel's gonna need, especially because they want a little bit of leeway as they go here into the second half. Here go Crabyys play. That was 1 kill. Clean up on 2. Up A for the 3 Ps. Exactly what his team needed there.
Said do the crab walk.
Man,
I don't even know what that would look like, man. I remember the crab walk in like PE and gym class. I know what the crab walk is, but
oh man, I thought you were talking about Gears 1. I was about to like, okay, Taylor's culture. He knows the culture of the crab walk in Gears 1, but you're talking PE class?
Okay, hey man, look, check this. Hey, Blaze, check this out, man. Why you gotta call me out in front of 3K people like that?
Hey, man, Taylor, I'm not calling you out. I'm just, you know.
Hey, Blaze, hey,
just teasing, just a tad bit.
Take it over for me, man.
All right, folks, let's get it, yo. Taylor, you know I love you. Without you, I am
it's
nothing.
All love, it's all love.
You know it. But all right, here we go. Entering round number 4. Now, Rebel, they didn't get much pressure down low at B. Elevate is saying that, you know what? We want to make sure that we can get our home hill locked in, and they want to take A as well, but this is why it's so difficult. Look, you're going to get the first kill from Addvers, but there's multiple players with that height advantage just shooting down on top of these Elevate players, and now Elevate, they're getting pushed out.
This is terrible, right? Because Gary's already on his last life, Nero as well. And Rebel is doing what they do best, and that's just wolfpacking and just full sending it. Oh, that Lancer fire track. And that's the most demoralizing thing when you just get Lancered out. You try to get up, you finally get up on your 2 feet, and then you just get Lancered right back down, and Dragonz does it to him. But hey, Dragonz is going to be now on lives 1 out of 4. This is the last round of the first half, and you already are in shambles. This is not looking good for Elevate, and we kind of knew going into this round that Rebel had a very real potential to be leading 3-1 going into the second half, and they look as if they're going to be making that true.
So 3v3 fight up top at C. This is going to be Elevate's home hill. One player is going to get out of dodge, but he's also going to try to flank and make a play happen in the middle and help his other teammates out. He gets the initial down and gives his team a 3v2 advantage elsewhere. But this is a great move here by Exclusive, able to be able to assist in both fights. But in the end, Demon, he stopped that push right in his tracks. He said, all right, great attempt, but not good enough.
Demon's one of those players that's so impressive. I've watched him since Gears 4 when he was relatively unknown, and I gotta say, man, he's one of the most explosive players out there in the Gears scene. Love to see the fact that he's on Rebel, representing well, especially alongside Crack. I think for him, that's gotta feel good. At this point in time, though, Elevate's in dire straits. You got Gary and Nero on, or currently out. That's going to be now another one cleaned up. And either way, Rebels, they're going to be on that domination. At this point, Elevate, they're just stalling for time, Blaze.
Yeah, they're just stalling just a bit here. And that's exactly what they should do. We talk a lot about, you know, when you have these clear advantages, especially when it comes down to lives and heals and points, you know, just chill out, get the win, lock it in. But, you know, when you got this big of an advantage, push out, get the kills, play around with your opponent just a bit, because there was no way in hell Elevate was going to come back at the end of that round.
100% no. 100% no. I don't care if you drop a Moab, a nuke, it doesn't matter. You're not coming back from that one. Rebel had it locked up, and they sent it. All right, 3-1, Rebel leads the way, and now it's a very real choice for Elevate as to where they want to place a power weapon. Now, typically, we do see a drop shot. In this case, it looks like we're going to get that onto tank, and there's that drop. So they knew they had to change up the fight plays. What's been going down is not really going to change, right? It's Vaskar.
Yeah. Continue, Taylor. Sorry.
I was just going to say, but it's not going to change. So you got to go head-to-head. And I think right now Elevate's going to feel a lot more comfortable, but still, though, that Rebel squad, their slaying power has been great.
And now they're going to have a more favorable stat in the second half, and a drop shot is dead center. If we do go to distance, they're going to have this same side for round number 7. So that's going to that's a huge advantage, because they got these incendiary grenades. They get to look down and stop any quick picks or pushes that happen around his drop shot. And it's going to be difficult for the boys of Elevate to get in there and get it. And you see Rebel, they get in with ease. They pick it up, they drop back, get a few kills, and now they're looking to make this a 4-1 lead with this power weapon.
Crabyys, though, looking to do some great work on the tank. He's going to be brought full red. He gets dropped. And the big thing here is Nero is also going to be out-angled. The drop shot hasn't been fired. So there's still 2 rockets in his pocket to be able to use. Hold up a second. Dragonz should have not been able to get out of this situation, and he won't, but he still takes down 1. That's impressive. Rebel now in a great position. They've got DNE, they've got the drop shot, and now more importantly, they're going for the domination.
Can they close it out? It's going to be hard on this F hill. Players spawn up and we're able to get to the hill quickly there and just slow down. That one drop shot was missed. So 1 left remaining here for Rebel as they're looking to cap this F. But on the other side of the map, there's multiple players fighting at E. And this hill should get locked in for Elevate, no problem. But they're going to have to either get a player towards mid-map, maybe flank around, or get their numbers down low to F. Hell, possibly even rotate the entire map and see if they can make it towards D with the numbers in which they have, because they're going to need more hills.
I thought that drop shot was going to be more influential when I saw those 2 players pushing up. When that's out of the way, Elevate feels confident. They push forward. Kardia, though, is going to be able to get a big pickup onto Crabyys. And now Nero's by himself. He gets onto 1, though. Can't get that second. Demon will finally silence him, and Dragonz knows he's got to dip out. And Rebel's going to continue that lead. At this point in time, Elevate chalk it up and just send it to the next round.
Ooh, Dragonz versus Addvers, but Addvers gets a little bit of help there. Crabyys is going to avenge his teammate. Now, with this being the first round of the second half, Taylor, you don't want to lose too many respawns going back and forth with your opponent. And Rebel knows it. You see them in open area backing up with their lancers out. And when you have to get a few kills quickly for your team, you want to get in that 1 chunk range. You want to get close to your opponent. And when you see that Lancer get pulled out and you're getting tagged up and you're looking for the perfect bounce, the perfect route to at least get closer to that distance, it's so much pressure. It just it's such a difficult thing to get through. And at that point, you just know that, hey, Just concede this. Let's get some better odds as we fight this initial going into this next round with all 5 players alive.
4-1, man. Blaze, come on. Elevate, what do they do? How do they turn this around?
Well, if Elevate wants to come back in this one, it starts firstly well, as we all know, it's going to start with this round because they need to win the good side, okay? And so they need to dominate when it comes down to using this incinerator grenade, picking off the kill, getting this drop shot, and giving Rebel a little bit of taste of their own medicine as we saw the previous round beforehand. But they put the drop shot down on the map for a reason, and that's because they wanted to focus the team fight. So they're gonna have to win this off their teamwork.
Reflame,
the quick
he gets
pick
out of there, and look at this. Elevate loses the drop shot. They also use their utility, right? They use their ensign. That's just a tough break. That is not the start that you want. Rebel, they'll back off. I mean, and more importantly, they got E and F. The shock is not going to be thrown out. Addvers has got the drop. Does he even? Ooh, whoa.
Okay, exclusive.
Where did he come from? Where did he come from?
Out of nowhere, like a bat out of hell with the quick kill, making a play for his teammates. I think that drop shot may be on the ground, but exclusive gets crossed out. Oh, there's the drop shot in the hands of Crack. Hey, he got it. He's out.
Blaze, that took me by surprise. Sometimes I'm watching what's on the screen and I'm calling it, right? I'm just calling that play-by-play. Sometimes I need to look at the map more because exclusive came out like out of nowhere and just blindsided myself, and I'm not even playing, and I jump back in my seat.
Gave us
Good job
both
from him. And hey, but you know what, Crack? He still gets that drop shot, but Elevate has the objective, and they're closing out the deficit. If Crack wastes these drop shots, which honestly right now it looks like Gary and Dragonz, they're lining up. They're going to get removed, and a break's going to take place. But I mean, that was still an impressive run. Nero, though, is going to find Reflame, and I'm actually surprised that Reflame did not catch Nero over in that corner.
Now we're going to have a push coming out from Elevate towards the bottom portion of the map, so they actually won that. And now they're looking to flank this E-Hill. If the players from Elevate can hold off from this Rebel push, they'll be in a good spot. But as we see Rebel, they're still slaying out Dragonz, Gary. They're gone. Rebel, they got control of E, and they were able to get back towards their home hill as well with players coming off respawn to slay out 2 more members of Elevate. So Rebel, they're looking good. And now both these squads are going to be focusing their attention on this drop shot coming up off respawn.
A new drop shot. Rebel got it off the initial. Look, Demon, he tries to go for that pick. He's not going to get it. He's going to get burnt to a crisp. So at this point, Rebel, they'll have the objective. They'll have the lead, but Elevate is putting up a great fight, and it's really impressing me. But, all of a sudden, Dragonz exclusive fall. Now Gary, this is a big pickup for Crack. He's got to get the finish, and he does. Gary's out of the way. It's a permanent 5v4.
Okay.
He's not stopping there. He's going to move on to the crab walk himself. Crabyys goes down, and now Nero is going to fall as well to Kardia. And Blaze, I think the win just left the cells of Elevate. I think we're going to a game 3.
I think we are. They don't have much of a prayer here. Gary's out of there. He can't get back in. He needs his teammates to slay out. Rebel looking to get these remaining few kills. And it was a dominant map for him. And I think that was one that they needed to really remind Elevate how talented they are. And it says, okay, we let Forge get away from us, but we're going to show you the team that we are here on Vascar. Rebel, they tie this whole series up 1-1. And we got an exciting map number 3, Asylum, all set up for us.
Map 3 is going to look fantastic. Forge 5-2 on Elevate. They take that. Vascar, though, 5-1 for Rebel. Asylum, it comes down to that one. We'll find out who's going to finish out this book after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Pro League Split 1 day number 2. We have seen already a fantastic series underway. Rebel, Elevate, sending it to a game number 3. We're moving into Asylum. I know on that screen you see Crabyys popping off, but don't let that fool you, man. Rebel dominated this with a 5-1 victory. This was their map pick, and they needed to answer after that devastating 5-2 loss on Forge, where Elevate opened up day number 2 here with a banger. Either way, though, Asylum is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it started. I'm Taylor Reflections, Noble, joined by Blaze. Blaze, man, what's going on?
Man, yo, I'm excited for this map number 3, hell, to kick off our day in this great-ass series. We get to go to Asylum, Rebel versus Elevate. And talking a little bit more about the both these squads here, we all predicted Elevate to come out on top and make this a 2-0, but Elevate proved us all wrong and says, nah, this is going to be a lot closer than what you guys thought. If they're going to beat us, well, they're going to have to do it in a map number 3.
Yeah, Rebel, man, Elevate, I don't know. They seriously, since the beginning of this, even preseason, right? During the Pro League qualifiers and any of those recent tournaments, Rebel as well as Elevate have always been a talking point because they've always gone back to back. They've always gone the distance, and that's what makes it so entertaining and so fun to watch these two teams play it out. As far as Asylum goes, honestly, Elevate might be favored here. I say that, and I know how dominant Rebel is. I know how dominant Rebel is on this very map, okay? But Elevate has proven that they can win Asylum in the past. Specifically, on Emergence Days, Season 3, Week number 4, they went head-to-head versus Carnage. That was the only map they won, but it was Asylum. They took it 5-3, and they looked impressive. So Elevate is a very well-versed team. When it does come to Asylum, Rebel might have the edge here, but either way, I expect this to be one of the closest games in the series so far.
Well, if Elevate is going to win, they're going to have to do a few things right. Well, step number 1 is that they're going to have to play as a unit. Now, luckily for them, they got a fantastic core 3 in Nero, Gary, and Crabyys. I'm going to be looking for these guys to make big plays at tracks, come up with some creative flanks, going through mid-map in the second half to be able to flank that entrance area to make some opportunities for their team. But the one thing is when it comes down to Asylum, when teams start to pick up momentum, they typically take that towards a trip cap domination kind of based off the layout of the map. So if they come out with some great early initials, I think that they'll be able to take that energy, take that momentum into a trip cap domination. But if it doesn't work out, then don't worry. They got exclusives that help bring them back, help reel them back in, and to be able to set up and really apply some pressure and switch into that defensive play style.
I'm glad you mentioned exclusive, backing them up. That's something I want to see here because I specifically remember when they were playing Carnage, despite Elevate winning that, there were a couple of key points where Elevate did not know when to back off and they would get counter-wiped by Carnage, and then Carnage would take that round. That's something Elevate's going to have to clean up. They did it on Forge too, and they also did it on Vascar. Let's not forget round number 1 on Forge or on Vascar, just before they had that round, Blaze.
Yep.
But they pushed too hard. So exclusive really needs to be that vocal figure. But speaking about pushing, look at Rebel, man. Already on Charlie, they're pushing into Elevate's home hill.
Man, they used their numbers right there, forced their way to their opponent's home hill to get that 2-man setup. Now on the flip end for Elevate, they got the neutral capped up, and Nero was able to stop this push just for a bit, but you still see Kardia behind enemy lines is going to take out Dragonz. And I know he's just like, Nero, what you looking at? You got to call that out a little bit sooner for me.
Communication is key. Stay alert, stay alive, and that's exactly what these guys need to do. So hopefully they'll clean that up, especially with this being game 3. So much on the line. Crabyys with the misthrow. Addvers 1-2 punch. Mike Tyson will take him down. And meanwhile, Streets has seen some action as Elevate is looking to stack 3 strong into 2. But hey, 2 might be stronger than 3 in this situation because you have Crack up there, and he's doing one hell of a job. My Lord, and Addvers from the flank as well as Reflame. You see him, now you don't, and Elevate 3 down.
Rebel, they're taking this momentum toward that trip cap domination, still picking up the kills. You got one player sitting outside the door. That's going to be Gary. He's not able to do anything else in this round. And Rebel, great initial, utilizing that pressure, getting up top control, and having a presence towards that mid-map area, not allowing Elevate really to get a solid footing in that round, because they had to come up off respawn, and number 1, they had to get control of their home hill, but they also didn't want to really lose an advantage down low towards B. But in the end, Rebel figured out how to get them all kind of grouped up in one area, and when they made the final push and took the round. So as we head here into our weapon selection, we're going to see both these squads do a little offset placement. So this meaning that they want their incendiaries in 2 different locations. We'll see why as this map progresses later.
Well, I mean, if I'm Elevate, maybe they're thinking they want to be a lot stronger on the first half, so they want that ensign down low. If you're Rebel, maybe they're thinking they want that ensign to be up top because they want to favor it going into that Streets fight on the second half. So at this point in time, if you are an Elevate fan, if you're an Elevate member in general, I hope it pays off, right? Because it's a big risk to take, losing that out that early on, because we know how influential the Streets fight can be, especially with that utility. But either way, though, we're not going to see the instants just yet. See them in the next round. And I like this. Rebel is pushing up strong. Nero and Crabyys will be taken down. But this is where Rebel isn't going to back off the gas. You're going to see players 5 and 1. That's going to be Crack and Reflame. They're pushing up, and they're looking to pincer Elevate.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming down from them, and it looked good there for a second. You're gonna see the overextension here from Elevate on top of their opponent's home hill, able to pick up 2 kills. But you see Addvers, he almost found a double, but he's gonna go down. Now A and C, oh, well, I may have spoke a little bit too soon. Just the A hill in favor of Elevate, but they will be able to get a player down low and lock in B. So now at this point, we have a tie game. This is what I was talking about when Elevate has to just slow it down, utilize their teamwork. I think I know at some point a drop shot is going to be placed on this map because those smoke grenades was offset off the start. The question is that which team is going to come out with a victory in a round 4, possibly, to decide if that drop shot is going to go middle or up top. Wow, he missed that.
Blaze. You can't miss those, man. Craby's got the first punch, and more importantly, he also missed that first shot, right? That he should have capitalized on. Luckily, his teammate is cleaning it up for him. Those kind of plays can be devastating, and you do not want to lose those 1v1s.
Now, Elevate with a nice response from the previous round. They were able to tie this all up 1-1, and better adjustment there. Better adjustment there in this round than the last. You got exclusive here, 4 kills, 3 assists, leading the charge, and we talked a lot about him to start this one off. You know, he plays a mid-map position, watching Pavilion. He's able to see all the action that's happening up top at entrance and down low at tracks, and able to give his team those proper call-outs that they need for those rotations and make sure that they're focusing in the right areas.
All right, instants are now placed. Let's see how this pans out. Elevate is going to have that instant for that tracks fight. I think it's going to be beneficial, but they have to use that to their advantage and make sure they're connecting those Crabyys, because if you don't, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Either way, Crabyys is going to have it in his hands, and he's going to go ahead and throw it out there. Reflame is going to dodge it. He already saw it coming a mile away, so instant is now going to be out of play, at least as of right now. The benefit is Reflame can't just hop into that hill. He knows the flames are there. He knows the Lancers is there, so we're going to be at a standoff for just a little bit.
Just a bit. We see some movement going down towards Pavilion as you see a few players trying to get across. Number 8, that's Dragonz. He's able to see this position. Number 9, which was exclusive, he dropped back towards that host position, as I like to call it. And they both got nice crosses on top of that box, on top of the B hill. Rebel walked right into the trap that Elevate had set. But even after picking up those kills, Elevate got to fully close that trap. We'll see if they can do it, as Crabyys is going to get pinched from 2 different angles and get taken out there. So B hill still goes in favor of Rebel after the dust settles.
The Rebel's very cautious and aware that maybe Elevate, after failing their attempt on the tracks, is going to go for that overextension. So we see 3 players will rotate up to kind of battle against not only Pavilion, but also onto tracks. And for good reason, there are 2 players there. You got that linchpin, which is player number 9. That's going to be exclusive, who could go to Pavilion or go down to tracks, which seems to be the play, but it's already not working, as Nero is going to be finished off. So exclusive in this situation has to go big, and he looks to be doing so. He's going to push it onto Reflame, hits a beautiful shot from behind. Addvers now is going to be just up ahead. Exclusive is going to push this, and if he dies, why did he push that Blaze?
Oh man, yo, he was feeling himself just a bit. He saw the kill, but it was off a left hand. He missed the shot, and now he gives up that positioning in which his team had. And they don't even have the B hill, so that was something that he needed to check off his list first before he got too aggressive over that 50-yard line of the map. Now, Elevate, they come off respawn. They're able to get back control of C. Rebel, they're backing out of their opponent's side of the map for now. But Addvers, he doesn't back out too far. He keeps that Lancer out, knows he has a little support from his teammates, but not enough to save his life. Now, in these back portions of the round, Elevate, they're going to need a prayer. They're going to need B and A. They get a player down low at B, but they lose their home hill in this process. So, Rebel, they're going to go ahead and lock in round number 3.
Round number 3 is going to be locked in, taking that early lead 2-1. Bit of misplays from exclusive. I wouldn't say it necessarily costed them, but obviously losing your life like that was not the intention. And we talked about Exclusive coming into this round, or into this map, I should say, is being the voice of reason, right? Being the guy that says, hey, let's back off, let's play smart here. But Exclusive got a little bit too passionate there, but I agree, he should have helped his player on tracks, because I believe once he pushed Pavilion, there was still one of his teammates that was still challenging on Bravo in that 1v2. So Exclusive could have been used a lot more effectively if he would have went back and helped his teammate and evened up that odds. Instead of it being a mismatch 2v1, it would have been a 2v2. But it is what it is. And Exclusive lost his life. Now, Elevate has to answer back. Last round of the half. Still have those ensigns down low. Well on our way to having ensigns and shocks. You mentioned a drop shot that might be coming up. And hey, if Rebel wins this round, we might see it so.
Yeah, and this is the most important round to do so. You know, even in going into the next round, you put a drop shot down. At least you got those 2 flash grenades to help yourself in that fight. No matter if you choose to put it towards the middle or up top, but I think Rebel would like to play for that drop shot up top entrance, because on the flip end, Elevate, they got a nice spread along this side of the map, and they have some great strategies when their opponents is focused down low towards tracks and not in one focal point up top. Like entrance, we got to fight some of those cluster battles when it comes down to retaking that hill. Now you see Crabyys, he gets one, tosses the incendiary grenade to force his opponent off the cover, moves in for the 1v1 fight, and even after the miss roll, he gets
nice.
Crabyys making plays there. He gets his team that hill down low. But let's see if they can get them in a position to get their opponents up top. But Rebel, what they say is, hey, we're not going to sit back and take it. We're going to push through and fight for some map control of our own.
They tried. They wanted to push up, but once Kardia kind of got a couple of shots, it spooked him, so he backed off. Now they're going to throw an audible out there. Meanwhile, Elevate, they're not even there to defend, and Pavilion does go down. Dragonz will get Lancered out, so that's going to be a big pickup from Kardia, who ended up rotating out. Remember, he was the first one pushing Streets to go for the overextension. Now Elevate seems as if to be going for an overextension of their own. They're going to successfully take down player 1. Reflame drops. Kardia is already out, so Elevate should be in good hands to retake control of C and keep maintaining that lead.
All right, now Elevate, they're in a great position so far. They're on their opponent's side of the map currently. Rebel, they're looking for an out, and they want to go towards their home hill, but they made sure to get some of these kills towards mid-map. They felt like that was the easiest first option to get into a fight. Now with that, their opponent's defenses are in shambles just a bit. That's going to allow them to get in and get their home hill. Now to Elevate commit too much to that setup, we'll see how quickly they can come off these respawns and get set up. This is the last round of the half, so lucky for them, they got a lot of respawns to use, but Rebel does have the most respawns in this final round.
They absolutely do, and that could be impactful, especially as we get closer and closer to the 250 mark. Rebel with the objective plus the lead in overall respawn economy, it's got to give them newfound confidence, and that's a great connection. Gary onto Crack with the ensign. Gary's going to continue to push up. B has been broken, and some critical fights go down, in which way they do go to Elevate. So Elevate is holding on here. They've got the win condition, and despite them being low in respawn economy, it might not make a difference anymore given the fact that we were up to 250. And in just an update for you, Vanquish does in fact win map number 3, 5-3 over Apricity. Apricity gave it a good fight, sent it to game 3, but VQ remains flawless currently.
Now, congratulations to VQ on their perfect record for now. Those boys have been doing great. But speaking of some other boys who've been doing great, Elevate in this round, they did a great job closing it out. They got their home hill locked in, just a few more points needed, and the entire other side of the map is all theirs. So they tied us all up 2-2. Now, I've been mentioning a little bit about drop shots going down, changing the focus of the fight into the favor of one of these two teams. Now, I've been predicting that Elevate's going to put this drop shot middle pavilion so they can keep this map all spread out, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong and how they want this to go down. So they're actually going to choose to get their shot grenade down first. Now, on the flip end, what does Rebel want to do? How do they want to match it? They are going to match it. So tit for tat there. So now we got our incendiary grenades on the map and our shot grenades. So we'll see how both these teams can use those weapons.
I think if it keeps going back and forth, maybe a drop shot. I don't think a drop shot gets placed. I really don't. If Rebel wins that last round,
yeah,
I think it does.
Would it be a 2-2 and it's still even? Yeah. You know, sometimes these teams don't want to put that weapon down right away and change up the flow because, you know, you're learning a lot about your opponents after each one of these initials, and now you got to start another one, and you don't know what they're going to throw at you. Does he survive in a corner? Just a bit. Oh, just A few ticks away. He did, but great start to Rebel here in the kickoff of this round. Multiple kills to get control of up top. And with that kill that Addvers picked up, he's going to be able to hold it for now.
All right, so Addvers does lock it in, as you said, but the thing is Elevate, a lot of moving pieces. Player 7 is down low. He's looking to challenge onto Kardia. Addvers, though, he needs to win this fight. This is big for him, and he's going to do so. Now his teammates are going to be there. Lancerfire is going to help out. Nero is going to fall. So Nero in that situation could have put himself in the right way, but unfortunately he doesn't. Now, this is where Rebel really going to start to heat up pushing forward. And that's a great connection on the one. Dragonz evens up the odds. He's doing a great job fighting out. Reflame's Okay, this is looking really good. Dragonz is putting in work.
Give me one more. He couldn't get it, but great effort there for the Elevate fans. He picks up 2. Now, Rebel, they're going to get set up on top E, and this is currently a 2v2 fight for now. 1v1 fight down low to defend Rebel's home hill. Both these squads are going to have all their players get respawned up, but it's Elevate who wants to strike first and get an E decap. They don't want their opponents to get away with too much of a lead. And so step number 1 was decapping the hill. Elevate did that. Now, can Rebel keep defending 2 kills being picked up? They got 3 members in the area. They're going to slow down, make sure they get their health back. But nice angle from Dragonz. He's still in the mix, and he goes forward. Double down, quick cleanup. The revive came through, but I think Rebel can turn this around as they get the 1 kill. Nero, he gets 2v1.
You know what? Even though Rebel gets that break, Dragonz shows just how talented he is, right? That EQ player that transferred over. He's on lives 1 out of 4, and Rebel's going to take this round to bring it up 3-2. But that is exciting to watch, right? That's exciting to watch the fact that Dragonz can play so well in those clutch situations. He never skipped a beat.
Didn't skip a beat whatsoever. You know, he says, hey, you know, as long as if I could trade out my life, great. If I could take 2 to the grave, even better. And he had enough respawns there to do so. But, you know, it's early on. You still don't want to just be burning respawns away. But he made the most of his situation. So as we head on over towards round number 6, with weapon selection, both these teams is going to have their incinerator grenades. So no center line placements just yet. And at this point, if we do get them, it'll be because one team got close to map point and the other just needs to really just flip this around. But both these squads, they're doing such a good job adjusting to what their opponent's doing round after round. And we saw the previous one, Rebel came out to a great start. This time around, Elevate uses that shot grenade to slow them down a bit, buy themselves a little bit of time to get into position and get this kill. But they're not, we'll see what they can do because Rebel is just bullying them out of this position, utilizing their numbers. But even so, Nero is able to take out Demon and push back Rebel just a bit. The flank's coming through.
Flank is coming through. The pincer is starting to collapse in, and Rebel is now aware of this. They're going to try and make it out, but Craby's going to be there along with the Lancerfire from his teammate behind. Kardia might get picked up here, but he's not. He's going to get Lancered out, and as well as Exclusive is going to be able to take down the other. This is looking scary for Rebel members. Elevate now. They are starting to tighten that vice grip. Reflame, he's going to pick up 1 to 2nd. Can he get it? He cannot. He was stunned just a little bit too long. He'll get finished off. Elevate, they're going to close out this round and bring it 3-3. Rebel needed to win that to put them up 4-2, but they don't. The fact that it's tied up means we're most likely not seeing a drop shot once again. Shots are probably going to be halved on both ends, and it's going to be business as usual.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying this gameplay between both these squads. Dragonz, 12 kills, 13 assists. He is doing it all on this map right now, Taylor. He's he wants this one for his team, and we'll see if the man from across the pond can close it out for him. So we're gonna get the shot grenades halved on this time around with the weapon placements. So and it's now at this point you can't halve them anymore. So our placements are either gonna go towards the individual players, but the pistols are banned. So unless you're gonna get some front spawn smokes, then you're gonna have to start putting something towards center line. But we'll see what they can do. They got enough to play with, not to put too much focus on the center than what's already there. And Dragonz comes out again, gets another kill. He's just taking over.
He is. And you know what? Elevate needed that. They needed somebody to step up, and Dragonz is that focal point. The way, though, a break does happen, and Rebel will push through and go ahead and capitalize by getting that decap. Player 7's going to be going against player 3, and Kardia's last stop. Matter of fact, if player 7 wins this, that's huge. But Kardia wins it, and that keeps Rebel in it. But if Kardia goes down there, Elevate gets to domination, and that was GG. Elevate could have been up 4-3, but now back off to the races again.
Elevate, they got 4 members in this area to stop this offensive push coming out of Rebel. You got players 1, 3, 5 in the mix. They're gonna have to probably get in towards that entrance door to get this decap, utilize whatever utility they have. They don't have much, Taylor, no nades at all, but they're gonna drop back and get 2. Now on the flip end, their opponent's gonna get their utility as well, but who's gonna use theirs first? We typically talk about the team to throw their nade late is gonna win. But it can win because they have the advantage by the time the rest of the nades dissipate. But Elevate kind of knew that, so they said, you know, we're gonna strike first, keep our lead here, and we're gonna save one of our nades for later. Most importantly, they want to keep this hill neutral. Nice nade over the top by Addvers. Now that shot grenade is gonna keep this hill neutral and keep the lead in favor of Elevate for now. They're trying to get players in position. Number 8 has a fantastic cross from middle. We'll see if it can help his teammates. His teammates being Elevate here, but Rebel, they're looking to get the hill cap, and they're just muscling their way through.
That's the best way to put it. Absolutely muscling their way through. Looks like they might back off here. I don't know. They're kind of tempting that they want to go forward. Player 2 is going to commit because they know player 5, that's going to be Crack down low, is going to be able to join them. The only negative to that is the fact that Crack is on lives 1 out of 4. So if he goes for this push, he dies. That would have been hugely devastating for the Rebel roster. Either way, though, Rebel does back off. They're going to try and provide some defense. But the fact is, Elevate does have that minor lead. The first utility gets thrown. So if Elevate, once that shock dissipates, if they can push up in a timely manner, retake E, they can maintain that win condition and be dangerously close to capping out at 250.
Now, both incendiary grenades are going to get tossed out by by each squad. So this flank here by Crabyys up the center, he's being sneaky, but he's also being watched by Reflame. Kardia's gonna make the first move. He has a shot grenade behind him, so he can't really escape out, but his teammates had his back for them to work together to take one player to the grave and trade it out. 2v2 fight still at E. Demon goes for a move, but he's gonna pay for it. Puts Addvers in a difficult position. He's gonna go down. Trip cap domination being threatened for now, but a 1v1 being won by Crack against Crabyys there is going to keep Rebel in this round. Taylor, we're all tied up.
Rebel, yeah, all tied up like you said, but...
Well, not anymore.
Brakes are going, oh man, there it is. Okay, so, hey, I was looking around the map when you said that, I'm like, wait, the Rebel, are they back into it? Elevate closes out 4-3. And man, map point, series point, and I can speak for everybody, whether it be us or the chat. We did not expect this, but hey, support Rebel anyways. Rebel, those skins are out there. Make sure that you're playing up to the best of your abilities. Hey, we've seen the skins from Elevate before. Got to give that love to Rebel, but now Rebel needs ever more love, right? This is their opportunity. They want to stay alive, man. They've got to tie this up. They have to win this round, but it's going to be tough.
All right, we'll see what the Slayers can do here for Rebel. See if they can get their team off to an early start. They're gonna send, so now we're gonna get Elevate. They're gonna put Crabyys right up the middle to get an angle to cross out Rebel because they're trying to play off Rebel's aggressiveness here off the start. And Elevate did so well at doing that because they're gonna get the double down. The question is, can they get the cleanup? Because Crack's making some plays off the flank. As you see, multiple players getting an aggressive down low for Elevate, playing for this trip cap domination. This is forcing Rebel to have to push up here and fight, Taylor.
Rebel has to go. They know it. Player 2 falls. 7's going to be lurking around, so Gary has the potential to make some big plays. He's now going to be in a 1v2 going against not only Reflame, but also Kardia. He will fall, and more importantly, Crack from Rebel will get the break on that neutral. But the pressure's unrelenting for Elevate. They are not letting go of the gas just yet, and they're right back into it to go for the capture onto E.
Now the fight's not won yet. That was a good back A there for Elevate, but they're gonna get backed up. Rebel, they need to not play for too much here, Taylor. They need to get this hill capped. If they can get some more kills, that'd be great, but you see, Elevate, they're gonna stack all their players over here towards entrance to finally get control, as Rebel is gonna have to wait for their teammates to come off respawn. So this one is gonna start to slow down here for a second. Now, each of these squads still has utility grenades coming up at any given moment, and Rebel could possibly wait for theirs, but they know that they at least want to get a decap if they can. If they can't get the cap, they'll be okay, but they get the decap, the shot grenades there, at least they're still alive. they still have
That's
a
the thing.
chance. That's the most important thing.
100%, man. I mean, that shot I thought was going to be more devastating, especially in conjunction with an Ensign. You have 2 players in that pocket. You throw an Ensign, you get a 2-piece. I mean, that's just devastating. But Rebel was still very much so into it. They were down quite a bit, but now they're starting to close out that deficit. I'm Elevate. I'm now starting to control my pushes, but I guess they're not going to let go of the gas once again. Craby's going to go ahead and take an opportunity while it's there. He's going to take down Addvers. Crack is going to get the trade onto Crabyys. Dragonz actually ended up taking Crabyys down. But either way, though, the push must continue. That Lancer Fire is devastating from the flank. Is going to be 1 from Elevate. That's going to be now 2 down. And more importantly, Crack is on his last life, and so is Reflame. And Elevate has the lead. They have the objective, and they're just a hair away from closing out the series with the W.
Oh man, so exclusive. Currently, no respawns remaining for this side of Elevate. Now, luckily for them is they have this lead, but we know that Rebel's going to be trying to make a play on them. Nero, he's tucked away in his corner. He's going to get cleaned up. Both squads finding a kill. Gary finds another on Demon down low as he tries to get aggressive on the flank. Now, Rebel, they have to worry about their home hill at the same time. They're not going to get a good look at this fight. It's later portions of this round. They need to have the perfect play. Now, with getting that, they got the kill in their home hill. If they can focus all their attentions up top and on their opponent's home hill, they still have a chance, Taylor. It is a 4v4 fight, and with that kill, it's a 4v3 fight in favor of Rebel.
Rebel is now going for it. Player 1's trying to go for the break, but he has to win this 1v1 versus Nero.
Oh,
he has to
he'll
win
decap.
this fight. Kardia up top, though, versus Exclusive. Crack on the flank. The decap comes in, elevated 248. Crack has to win it, and Crack wins it versus Exclusive.
But this
now
is
the
big.
break onto
Demon.
the home hill
You
is
gotta
going to be
go
there.
Demon mode.
Demon's going to fall. The hill gets broken, and Elevate's going to be there onto D. Crabyys is going to go for Crack, and they get it. Elevate gets onto D, and they close out the series with a 2-1 lead. Everybody was against them, but at the end of the day, they silenced the haters, and they said, we were here to play, and you guys just didn't know it yet. Elevate, they will take their victory tonight.
He said, don't ever doubt us, ever. Elevate gets it done. Gary, 23 kills, 10 assists, leading the charge for his squad. Fantastic victory here for Elevate. They had everybody against them, and they rose out on. They came out on top, rose to the occasion. They got it done, Taylor. Good job to them.
And I'm impressed. I am really impressed. Going into the series, and I won't look. I'm not going to give the predictions away from the other casters because I'm just not going to do that because it wasn't out there publicly. But I can say this for sure: Rebel was favored by everybody going into this matchup, and for good reason. Rebel has been looking so solid as of recently. That victory over Noble yesterday, 2-0, made them look powerful. But Elevate, they come out of nowhere and they show that, you know what, this Pro League is not going to go the way that people are thinking. And no longer are we there where it's like, hey, everything or any of these matches, they used to be a given. We went into them and we knew who was going to take the victory, right? That's no longer the case. The competition now is so close that upsets are going to be happening more frequently, and it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I love to see it, man. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Upsets are one of my favorite things to watch because sometimes in Gears Esports, the teams can be a little bit too predictable to win just because we had large skill gaps in the past. But over this last season, that skill gap has closed week after week. And now with our first Pro League, with LATAM and NA teams, and it's split down to center 6-6. Yep. We are set up to have nothing but close series and a lot of action this season.
Man, Elevate, good job on you. I asked the social media people earlier, both from Rebel and Elevate, and they both said it was going to be a 2-0. Now, it wasn't a 2-0, so they were both wrong at the end of the day, but they can rest their hat easily as Elevate takes that win 2-1. So I can only imagine a trash talk that they're going to give over to Rebel now that I started that. I love stirring the pot, man, but it's all love amongst these organizations. I got to give it to the boys at Elevate. Crabyys stepped it up. He played so well. In this match, though, Dragonz was the player to watch. There were we just seen it on the screen, picking up that 3-piece. Dragonz was a powerful player, and it's good to see him getting that value out of Elevate. I love it.
You know, he was like the Swiss Army knife. He was doing it all. He was slaying out, supporting his teammates. He had great rotations, and being able to keep this game close at the mid portion, it allowed Gary to excel at the end of the series and help seal this game in the books for Elevate. Great series there. It was a nail biter, but man, Rebel, they got to just pick it up a little bit earlier in this series.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. Forge, they should have won it, but they didn't. Impressive stuff from Elevate. Box score shows it all. It was so close in that first half. But the second half is where things started to get heated up, specifically for Elevate, winning 3 rounds in a row, 6, 7, and 8. One by the way of domination. 7 and 8 were close. Like you said, a nail biter till the end. But Elevate was able to remain composed and take that victory. Again, GG to them. They needed this win. As I have been saying, they lost yesterday to Hive 2-1. So the fact is now they're all tied up 1-1, and that's got to give them newfound confidence. Week number 1, no one wants to be, or no one wants to have a record of 0 wins, 2 losses. So the fact is they'll take it 1-1. That's great for them.
Well, hey, that's a great kickoff to our first series, our first set of series for Pro League Day 2. 2 series that went down to the last map. VQ having to come back on Apricity in that last one. They end up closing out on the final map. And then we got Elevate here against Rebel. So no better start to Day 2. And then now coming up next is Noble versus UYU.
Oh, man.
It's going
It's going to be fantastic, man. Hey, Blaze, it's going to be a good time. It's only our second matchup of the day. We still have plenty more, and that can only mean one thing. We don't want you guys to go anywhere. Remember, you can claim your skins at live.gearsofwar.com by doing your quest. Make sure you're doing them if you want your skins, and you can also claim the skins that you missed out on yesterday. So that opportunity is still there. We want to make sure you get your Bedazzled skin. We want to make sure you get your Showdown skins. Either way, we're going to go to a quick little break, but when we come back, the action will continue. Noble versus UYU.